My dad once made me stand in the rain and said, "Stay outside until you learn respect." 7 years later, I came back in a suit, and this time, he was the one left standing at the door. It was raining the day I went back to my father's house. Not a soft rain. It was the kind that soaks through your clothes and makes everything look grey and smaller than it really is. The sky was heavy, just like my chest. 7 years. 7 years since I last stood in front of that black iron gate. The paint was peeling now. Rust showed at the corners. The garden that once looked huge to me seemed smaller, almost tired. The tall tree near the window was still there. I used to sit under it when I was a child, reading books and dreaming about leaving this town one day. I guess I did leave. Just not the way I wanted to. I stood there for a moment, staring at the house. The curtains were closed. The walls looked colder than I remembered. This place used to feel like a prison, but it was still the only home I had ever known. I was 18 the last time I saw him. That night was also cold. "You will stand outside until you learn respect," he had said. His voice had no emotion, no anger, no warmth, just control. I remember trying to speak, trying to explain. "I got a scholarship," I had told him. "It's a good university. I can build something for myself." "For yourself," he repeated. "You build for this family." "I want my own life." That was the moment everything changed. His hand hit my face before I even realized what was happening. My ears rang. My eyes burned. But what hurt more was the look in his eyes. Disappointment. Not love. Then the door slammed shut. I can still hear that sound. That night, I stood outside in the dark. I waited. I thought maybe he would calm down. Maybe he would open the door and say, "Come inside." He never did. After hours of standing in the cold, I walked away with one small bag and a broken heart. Now I was 25. I wasn't the scared boy anymore. I wore a black suit that fit perfectly. My shoes were polished. My hair was neat. I had built something on my own. I had survived without him. But as I lifted my hand to knock on the door, it started shaking. Not because I was weak, because some wounds never fully close. I knocked once. The sound echoed in the quiet rain. Footsteps came from inside. Slow. Heavy. The door opened. There he was. His hair was more grey now. Lines covered his forehead. But his eyes were the same. Sharp. Judging. He looked at me like I was a stranger. "What do you want?" he asked. No hello. No surprise. No warmth. "I came to talk," I said. My voice sounded calmer than I felt. His eyes moved from my face to my suit, then to my shoes. He studied me like he was searching for flaws. "You still don't know how to greet properly," he said. "Stand outside. Maybe you'll remember." The words hit me exactly the same way they did 7 years ago. Like I was 18 again. Like nothing had changed. The rain ran down my face. I didn't move. And then I heard it. A car engine behind me. Smooth. Expensive. Powerful. Not just any car. A long black limousine stopped at the curb. My father frowned. The driver stepped out, opened the back door carefully. And my grandmother stepped out into the rain. Grandma stepped out of the limousine slowly, but there was nothing weak about her. The rain touched her white coat, but she didn't rush. The driver quickly opened an umbrella above her head, yet she gently pushed it away. "I'm fine," she said. Her eyes were locked on me. "Why are you standing outside?" she asked softly. Her voice was warm, something I hadn't heard in years. I tried to smile, but it felt heavy on my face. "Dad says I need to learn respect." Her expression changed. Not surprised. Not confused. Just disappointed. She slowly turned her head toward my father, who was still standing in the doorway. "Again?" she asked quietly. That single word felt deeper than anger. My father crossed his arms. His jaw tightened. He shows up after 7 years without even greeting properly. He still hasn't changed. "I knocked," I said calmly. "You always thought knocking was enough," he replied coldly. "You never understood what this family expects." The rain grew stronger. It hit the ground harder. The silence between us felt even heavier. Grandma stepped closer to me. She looked at my face carefully, as if searching for something. "Tell me," she said gently, "what happened that night?" My heart beat faster. I hadn't spoken about that night in years. Not to anyone. I glanced at my father. His eyes warned me to stay quiet. But I was not 18 anymore. I told him I got a scholarship, I said slowly. In another city. A business program. It was everything I worked for. Grandma's eyes softened. "You used to talk about that every summer. You said you wanted to build your own company one day." "I remember," I whispered. My father let out a small, cold laugh. He chose strangers over blood. He chose his pride over respect. I felt something burn inside my chest. "I chose my future," I said quietly. Flashbacks came rushing back. "I won't live my life afraid of you," I had told him that night. The words felt brave at the time. Then came the slap, the shock, the silence, the door closing, the darkness outside. "I stood out there for hours," I said now, my voice steady but low. "I thought you would open the door." My father didn't respond. Grandma looked at him carefully, studying him. "Is that truly what happened?" she asked. He stayed silent. That silence said more than words. The rain began to slow down, but the air still felt heavy. Thick. Something didn't feel right. Grandma didn't look surprised by anything I said. It felt like she already knew. Like she had been waiting for this moment. She stepped back slightly and looked at both of us. "There is something both of you need to hear," she said calmly. My father frowned. "Mother, this is unnecessary." "No," she replied firmly. "This is long overdue." Her voice was no longer soft. It carried authority, the kind that makes even proud men quiet. I felt my stomach tighten. Whatever she was about to say, it was bigger than the scholarship, bigger than that night. And for the first time since I arrived, I saw something new in my father's eyes. Not anger, not control, fear. Grandma did not raise her voice. She did not rush. But the air around us changed. She looked directly at my father. "You told him he had nothing," she said calmly. "You told him if he walked away, he would lose this family. That he would never own a single brick of this house." My father's face stiffened. "Because that is how respect works." "No," she replied softly. "That is how control works." The rain had almost stopped. Only small drops fell from the roof. Grandma slowly opened her purse. The sound of the zipper felt loud in the silence. She pulled out a thick folder, wrapped carefully in plastic to protect it from the rain. My heart started beating faster. She held it out to my father. "Your father made his decision 7 years ago," she said. My father hesitated before taking it. His hands were steady at first, confident. Then he opened it. I watched his eyes move across the paper, line by line. His face slowly lost color. This is not possible," he whispered. "It is," Grandma said. "Your father changed his will the week before he passed away." The words felt heavy in the air. My grandfather. He was the only person in this house who ever listened to me. "Everything," Grandma continued. "The house, the company shares, the land outside the city, it was left in his name." She nodded toward me. My father looked up sharply. "No. I am his only son." "And he knew exactly what kind of man you were," she replied. Silence. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just deep. I felt strangely calm. 7 years ago, when I stood outside that door, I thought I had lost everything. I thought I was alone. But I wasn't. Grandma stepped closer to me. "He believed in you," she said gently. "He believed you would build something without fear." I swallowed. My throat felt tight. "I never came back for money," I said quietly. "I didn't even know." And it was true. I had worked day and night in another city. Small apartment. Cheap furniture. Long hours. I built my own company from nothing. Every success I had. I earned it without this house. I looked at my father. "I came back because I needed to face you," I said. "Not because I needed this." Grandma spoke again. "As of this morning, the transfer is complete. The property legally belongs to him." The words were clear. Final. My father stood frozen on the doorstep. The same doorstep where he once pointed to the street and told me to stand outside. The same place where he closed the door on his own son. Now his hand was still resting on that door, but it was no longer his. I walked forward slowly. Each step felt steady, controlled. I stopped in front of him. For a second, we just looked at each other. He searched my face for anger, for revenge, but I felt neither. Just peace. I gently stepped past him and entered the house. The air inside smelled the same. Wood and dust and old memories. Behind me, he didn't move. He didn't speak. Grandma remained outside with him. I turned around and looked at the doorway. For 7 years, that door was a symbol of rejection, of humiliation. Now it was simply a door, and I closed it. This time, he was the one left outside.